What's up, Van Fam? It is Ben Price with Vamonos Vans back at you again today with another video. And today we are talking about something very important. It's not super exciting, but it is very important, and you're gonna wanna make sure that you get it right because you usually have one shot to do this. And that is gonna be subfloors. Today I'm gonna introduce to you our subfloor kit that we are releasing as DIY options, meaning this used to be something you could only get, you pay us to professionally install it for you, but we wanna help you guys DIY your vans at a high quality. So we're just gonna release this out to everyone. And I wanna explain to you what it is, why we chose to do it the way that we do, and why it's gonna be beneficial for you to install your floor this way. So every good subfloor has two main components. The first is gonna be the insulation, which is gonna be a thermal barrier between the sheet metal of your van and your actual flooring. The van is a metal box at the end of the day. And whether it's cold out or it's hot out, you've got air circulating around this metal box, which is a really good conductor of heat, which means that you're gonna be either gaining or losing a lot of heat through your floor. The insulation is, like I said, that's gonna be a thermal break so that you are not gonna get that heat transferring through. Wood is a thermal bridge that allows heat to travel through. So for all of you who are just putting straight wood on the floor, fine, there's nothing really wrong with that. Plenty of the manufacturers do that. You're just not gonna get the best thermal properties out of your build that you could. The second component is gonna be the actual subfloor itself. That's the wood, in this case, the structural component. This is what you're gonna be attaching things to. In our case, we've opted to use 1/2-inch Baltic birch. 1/2 inch because we want it to have a little bit of heft that we can attach certain things to, and Baltic birch because we've got really nice tight layer density, which means we have a lot of structural rigidity and dimensional stability, which means that this is not going to expand and contract in a lot of different directions, and it's nice and dense, so it's got meat for us to grab onto. We like the 1/2 inch, like I said, because we want a little bit of meat. We don't go for a 3/4 because 3/4 is overly heavy. And you know us, we try to keep our builds as light as possible, but we don't want to sacrifice on quality. So the 1/2 inch is just that perfect happy medium. Now let's talk about how these two are assembled. Now this is actually just floating in the van right now. We haven't adhered it yet, but these two pieces are glued together. We use 3M 760, which is a modified adhesive. There's no polyurethane in it. Super strong, super durable. It sets really quick, which is nice in us. We can set it in place, walk away, and we know it's gonna hold while it's curing. Now, if you come in here close, I wanna show you a detail that we're pretty proud of. So if you look in here, you can see these notches cut out on the edge of the foam, and these are channels that run all the way down and actually match the contours of our floor ribs right here. Now, what we used to do is cut very thin strips of wood and then individually glue those strips down to get a nice even surface so that our insulation and our subfloor had something nice and solid to adhere to, so you had a nice stable floor that wasn't squishy and whatnot. That takes a lot of time. It's extra material, it's extra steps. It's just kind of a waste. So now that we're utilizing CNC for cutting all of our materials, we mapped out the ribs of the floor on the Sprinter. We'll be doing the other vans too. And we just go ahead and we cut those grooves out of the bottom of the insulation. That way we know A, everything's fully supported, but also B, it's only gonna go in one way. You can't install this wrong. Last thing I wanna point out, and you'll see a little bit more of this in a bit when we get to installation, is we do have a little bit of stair step. We've got a gap here, an overlap, as you might say. This is so that we can stagger our seam between the insulation and our subfloor. If we have the seam at the same spot for both of them, that creates a weak point where we can have things flexing. But what we have here is we're gonna have our insulation section come in here, and then the subfloor is gonna come in over on top of that. That way we've got our insulation seam here and our subfloor seam here, creating a nice strong joint. Okay, so now you know what we're using, why we use it. Let's show you how easy it is to install. Okay, so I've got our 3M 760 loaded up in the caulking gun here. I'm gonna go ahead and lay a bead down on the top of the ridges. And we've got some blue tape here just to mark out the edge of this panel. I don't wanna put glue on all the seams just yet because we're gonna have to walk around. I don't wanna be stepping in glue. So here we go. Okay, so with the glue laid out, we have a little bit of time. This is about a 30-minute skim time. Not that we want to wait 30 minutes, but just don't feel like you've got to rush. I've got Cam here. He's going to help me on the other side. This is definitely a two-person job. We don't want to risk damaging any of the foam on the bottom or dinging the walls or anything like that. So we're just going to lift this up and drop it right in place. Just with that, we'll give it just a little bit of encouragement to grab onto that adhesive and set it in place. And that's pretty much it. We'll go lay the glue down for the next panel right here. And then once that one's down, we'll go onto the front. Okay, so we're just loading up another tube or sausage pack of our 760 here. Just want to show you how easy this is. All we need to do is just drop the tube right in, and then we're just gonna pierce it with a regular old utility blade. That's it, just a quick little poke. Do you mind taking that? And then we'll screw this top back on. And then this has a 26:1 thrust ratio. So it's pretty strong. It's gonna go ahead and just start feeding that glue out for us. Okay, so we've got all of the adhesive on the floor, but like I said before, we've got a lap joint over here and we're gonna wanna put some adhesive on that too. And that is gonna go on top of our pink foam. And then we can see right here, this is the section that's gonna end up on top of that. So now we've gotten the section adhered to the floor of the van and to the section next to it. Okay, and just like last time, now we're just gonna go ahead, pick this up, one person on either side, and we'll drop it in place. And again, everything's cut to fit. There's only one place it can go, so really no guesswork for us. Okay, so now last section, same deal. We're gonna get our glue on the ribs and then also on our exposed pink foam right here. We'll drop the last piece in and we'll be done. And just like that, your subfloor is installed. Thanks everyone for hanging out and watching the video. I hope that was fun and entertaining, hopefully a little helpful on your DIY project. If you want to check out more useful tips and tricks from us, go ahead, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel for more. And if you want to get one of our kits or have us install anything, build you a custom van, hit us up at www.vamonosvans.com. We'll see you guys there.